Alice Keppel's life story offers a fascinating glimpse into the late Victorian and Edwardian eras, marked by significant social and cultural shifts. As the favourite of King Edward VII, her influence extended beyond the personal to touch the very fabric of British society. Known for her charisma and savvy, Alice navigated the highest echelons of power during a time when women were often relegated to the background. Alice's story unfolds against the backdrop of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, an era characterised by rapid industrialisation, a growing empire and profound social changes. It was a time when the rigid moralities of the Victorian age were slowly giving way to the more relaxed attitudes of the Edwardian period, and Alice Keppel stood at the crossroads of this transition. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and also give the video a thumbs up. This really helps our channel grow. And finally, don't forget to hit the bell and select all notifications so you never miss one of our videos. And so with that said, let's begin today's story. Alice Keppel was born Alice Frederica Edmonston on April 29, 1868, to a world of genteel privilege and stringent social expectations. Her father, Sir William Edmonston, a retired admiral and the 4th Baronet of Duntreath, provided her with a lineage that was illustrious yet burdened by the responsibilities of aristocracy. Her mother, Mary Elizabeth, was a woman of beauty and brains, qualities she passed on to her daughter. The family's stately home, Duntreath Castle in Scotland, was Alice's first playground, where ancient stones held the whispers of history and the vast grounds promised endless adventures. Despite the rural tranquility of her early years, Alice's education was anything but provincial. Governed by the era's belief in the intellectual nurturing of aristocratic girls, her parents ensured she received a comprehensive education. Tutors in literature, history and the arts visited the castle, bringing with them the enlightenment of the outside world. Alice thrived under their tutelage, displaying an early aptitude for charm and wit that would one day become her most renowned asset. More importantly, she exhibited a sharp intelligence and a determination to exceed the limited expectations set for women of her time. A keen sense of social navigation matched her charm. From a young age, Alice learned to read the subtle cues and hidden agendas that swirled around her in social gatherings. Her ability to engage and influence was evident even in her teenage years, as she began to accompany her family to various social events across Britain. At these gatherings, Alice started to hone her skills of persuasion and diplomacy, skills that would later define her role in the highest echelons of British society. By her late teens, Alice's beauty and poise had begun to draw attention from beyond the family's immediate circle. Her father's naval connections and her mother's social savvy opened doors to more influential social circles. During one such vacation to London, Alice first tasted the potent mix of power and politics that the capital offered. She quickly grasped that her abilities could gain her entry into spaces typically reserved for the influential and the privileged. As she stepped into the bustling life of London, her aspirations were clear. Alice was not content to be merely a spectator in the drama of high society. She intended to be one of its principal actors. With each visit, she ingratiated with powerful patrons and charmed her way into the city's most exclusive events. Her early experiences in London set the stage for what was to become a life lived at the very heart of British power. The stage was set, and London was poised to offer Alice Keppel the role of a lifetime. Little did she know that her next visit would intertwine her fate with that of the future King of England, setting her on a path that would forever alter the course of her life. The 1890s in London, a beacon of cultural and social evolution, welcomed Alice Keppel not as a mere participant, but as a future architect of its high society. Arriving with ambitions surpassing her social rank, Alice's charm and astuteness positioned her within this glittering world and its emerging core. Alice's marriage in 1891 to George Keppel was more than a union of hearts. It was a strategic alliance that catalysed her societal ascent. George, a lieutenant colonel in the British Army, was well connected but not wealthy. His respect for her intellect and social acumen matched his affection for Alice. Their marriage, grounded in mutual respect and pragmatic affection, became a foundation for Alice's social empire. George's understanding of Alice's ambitions allowed her to navigate the complex social waters of London with an unusual degree of freedom for a woman of her time. The dynamics of their relationship, marked by an advanced view of marital roles, gave Alice the latitude to forge significant relationships within high society, including with influential men. One of these men was Albert Edward, Prince of Wales, the future King Edward VII. Their initial meeting, orchestrated during one of her famed salons, began a profound and impactful relationship. The prince, known for his indulgent lifestyle and influential circle, was quickly taken by Alice's wit and the ease with which she conducted herself in high-stakes social settings. Alice's initial interactions with the prince were marked by a careful balance of allure and distance. She drew him in with her charisma and engaging conversation while maintaining a respectful decorum. Her ability to do so intrigued the prince, who was accustomed to more overt attention, and set her apart from other women of her time. Her influence with the prince grew with each encounter, solidifying her status amongst the elite. As rumours of their closeness began circulating through the corridors of power, society watched with a mix of scandal and awe. How did Alice Keppel, a newcomer in the relentless hierarchy of British aristocracy, manage to captivate the attentions of the future King of England? The answer lay in her charm and her profound understanding of the world she aspired to dominate. Alice Keppel's influence reached its zenith when Edward ascended the throne in 1901. More than a confidant, Alice became an indispensable advisor within the royal court, wielding her influence with a nuanced understanding of the king's temperament and the political landscape. Her influence was often subtle, characterized by her skill in aligning her counsel with the king's inclinations, ensuring her advice enhanced his decisions rather than contradicting them. This approach solidified her position without making her power too conspicuous, a crucial blend that allowed her to maintain her standing without overtly challenging royal or societal boundaries. Alice extended her influence beyond personal counsel to charitable work, focusing on women's and children's welfare. She was passionate about hospital reform and played a significant role in fundraising efforts supporting healthcare improvements. These charitable activities bolstered her social image and countered the criticisms she faced over her intimate relationship with the king. Despite her contributions, Alice endured significant backlash. The British public and press often scrutinised her closeness to the king, casting her in a controversial light. This criticism peaked during national tension such as the Russo-Japanese War, when political decisions were hotly debated. Alice's influence was crucial during this period. She helped temper the king's initial pro-Russian sentiments, showcasing her capacity to affect foreign policy despite the precariousness of her position. Her resilience was most tested when the king's gambling debts became public, a scandal that implicated her as much as she had helped manage these issues discreetly. This revelation severely challenged her reputation, thrusting her into a harsh spotlight and eliciting widespread censure. It underscored the complexities of her role, influential yet vulnerable, pivotal yet at times vilified. The death of King Edward VII in 1910 marked the beginning of a significant shift for Alice Keppel, both personally and socially. As the Edwardian era's opulence faded into the backdrop of the approaching Great War, Alice found her once unshakable position in society on increasingly precarious ground. World War I profoundly affected every facet of British life, including the Keppel family. With the nation's focus turning to the war effort and national survival, the social landscapes that Alice had once navigated with ease were transformed. Her husband George and many close relatives were drawn directly into the conflict, their lives and duties profoundly altered by the war. This period forced Alice to reassess her role, driving her to engage more actively with the war charities and support efforts to aid soldiers and their families. Despite her genuine engagement in wartime activities, the societal shift towards more conservative values under George V's reign saw Alice's influence wane. The new king sought to distance the monarchy from the perceived excesses of his predecessor's court, where Alice had been a central figure. Feeling the cold shoulder from the royal family, she found herself increasingly sidelined, her previous intimacy with royalty now a relic of a bygone era. Alice's resilience was tested once again as she navigated this new reality. She adapted by fostering private enterprises and focusing on her family, gradually receding from the public eye that had once followed her every move. This period of her life was marked by introspection and a deliberate re-evaluation of her legacy. How would she be remembered in a rapidly changing society, one that perhaps no longer valued the traits and skills she had once prized so highly? Alice often reflected on her past with pride and regret in these later years. She pondered the legacy of influence, wondering whether her actions had contributed positively to the society she had left behind. Had her efforts in charitable work and her role in shaping early 20th century politics been impactful, or would she merely be remembered as a royal mistress in history? As Alice faced the twilight of her life, these reflections brought clarity and a sense of peace. She navigated the trials and tribulations of her time with a unique blend of grace and strategic insight, adapting to each new challenge with resilience. From the Victorian era into the tumultuous decades of early 20th century, Alice Keppel's life encapsulates a period of profound transformation. Her journey from a young socialite to a woman of influence at the highest levels of British society reflects personal ambition and the broader societal shifts of her time. In modern times, Alice's legacy is multifaceted. She is remembered for her charm and political savvy, which allowed her to navigate the complex landscape of Edwardian politics and society with remarkable adeptness. Yet her story also highlights the constraints and challenges women of her era faced, revealing the delicate balance between personal agency and societal expectations. Since Alice's time, society has undergone significant changes, especially regarding gender roles and acknowledging women's contributions beyond mere social or domestic spheres. Her life invites us to reflect on the progress and hurdles yet to overcome. Alice's life serves as a mirror, reflecting the evolution of societal roles and the enduring impact of personality on public life, urging us to ponder the legacy we are creating for future generations.